everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to do something really cool. We're going to look under the hood of the stories we absolutely love, to really figure out how they work their magic on us. I mean, we've all been there, right? That amazing feeling where you're completely sucked in, the real world just vanishes, and you are living inside that story. It's one of the best feelings there is. So the big question is, how does that happen? Is it just, a happy accident? Or is there a secret engine, a kind of blueprint that makes it all tick? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Because as it turns out, stories aren't really magic. They're machines. Yeah, machines. Beautiful, complex, and carefully designed machines, all built to create a very specific experience inside our heads. And today, we're going to learn how to see all the gears and levers. And we're not going in alone. Our guide on this adventure is a brilliant literary critic named Seymour Chatman. You can kind of think of him as a detective for stories. He gave us this amazing toolkit that helps us see what a story is by first understanding what it isn't. See, Chapman said there are really three basic ways we communicate. You've got argument, which is trying to convince you of something. Then there's description, which just wants to paint a picture for you. But narrative. Narrative does something totally different. It arranges events in a cause and effect chain. It's got that special time logic with characters and plot. And that's the machine we're here to deconstruct. Okay, so to get to the heart of that machine, we have to start with the single most important idea in all of storytelling theory. Seriously, this is the master key. Once you get this, everything else just clicks into place. So here it is. Every single narrative is actually split in two. On one side, you have the story. That's the what. It's just the raw material, the events, the characters, in the order they actually happened. But then you have the discourse, and that's the how. It's the way all that raw material is presented to us. Think about a flashback. That's a perfect example. The event in the flashback is part of the story, but the decision to show it to us now, out of order, that's a discourse choice. All right, so if story is the what and discourse is the how, that immediately brings up a really important question. Who's actually doing the telling? And, well, the answer is a little more complicated than you might think. We usually just think of the author, right? But Chapman shows us there's this whole chain of command. Of course, you've got the real author, the actual person sitting at a desk somewhere. But inside the story itself, you have the narrator. That's the voice telling you everything. And then, kind of lurking behind the narrator, is this mysterious figure, the implied author. Now, this is a super important idea. The implied author is not a real person. You can't, have coffee with them. It's more like the overall feeling or the guiding intelligence of the story that we, the audience, piece together from all the choices that were made. It's the sum of the plot, the style, the values. It really is the ghost in the machine. Okay, so we've got this implied author who's the mastermind and a narrator who's the mouthpiece. But what about the characters inside the story? They have their own points of view, too. So how do we tell the difference between what the storyteller thinks and what a character thinks? Well, Chapman gives us two great terms for this. First up is slant. This is all about the narrator's perspective. Think of it like the narrator's personal angle or bias on things. It's how their own attitudes and opinions color the way they report the events of the story to us. Here's a perfect example. The narrator isn't just giving us the facts here. They're flat out telling us what to think, right? They're passing judgment, calling her gentle, soft-hearted, compassionate. That's the narrator putting their slant all over the story. But what about when we're not being told about a character, but we're actually seeing the world through their eyes? For that, Chapman gives us the term filter. This is when the entire story, or at least a part of it, is filtered through a specific character's mind. See the difference here? It's huge. We're not being told that Gallagher is vulgar. We're inside little Chandler's head, and we are experiencing his growing disillusionment, his thoughts, his feeling that his friend is vulgar. The narrator is out of the picture. The character is the one doing the judging. We are seeing the world through his filter. So there we have it, story versus discourse. The author, the implied author, and the narrator. Slant versus filter. This is our toolkit. This is our set of X-ray glasses. So let's try them on and see what they can do. Okay, for our test case, let's look at the novel The French Lieutenant's Woman. It's famous, or maybe infamous, for having this incredibly intrusive narrator. I mean, this narrator constantly breaks the fourth wall, talks directly to the reader, gives history lessons. He even offers up different endings to the book. His slant is basically the whole point. So, here's the massive challenge. How on earth do you adapt that for a movie? Film is all about showing, not telling. You can't just have a voiceover lecturing the audience for 2 hours. So, what did the filmmakers do? Well, their solution was absolutely genius. They took a feature of the book's Discourse, that chatty narrator, and they translated it into a feature of the movie's story. They created this whole other plot line about the modern-day actors who are playing the characters, and those actors are having an affair. And this modern story does exactly what the narrator did in the book. It comments on the main Victorian plot and forces us to compare those old-fashioned attitudes with our own. And that right there, that's the power of this toolkit. All of a sudden, you can see past just what a story is about, and you can start to see how it's actually built. You can see how the different pieces can be taken apart and put back together, even in a totally different format like a film. This framework, these ideas, they're your new X-ray specs for any story you come across. The next time you're watching a movie or reading a book or even just watching a TV commercial, try them on. Ask yourself, okay, what's the raw story here and what's the discourse? Am I seeing this through the narrator's slant or am I inside a character's filter? And just like that, the hidden machinery will start to become visible.
Because once you start seeing this architecture, you really can't unsee it. So think about it. What's the last movie you saw? What's the book you're reading right now? Now that you have the blueprint, what hidden choices, what secret structures can you suddenly see that you never noticed before?